Get through this, you'll break new ground.
Hello, and welcome to day 18 in our series, We'll Get Through This. My name is Carol, and I want to welcome you. Each day, we're exploring a different dimension of health from our holistic health wheel. Today, we'll consider the financial health dimension. Take a moment right now to look at the wheel. Note the many dimensions of how we can be healthy, from what we eat, how we socialize, and how we find meaning in our day-to-day lives. Today's dimension, money, can be a real deal breaker for many of us, and it's becoming more complex as our world sees those that have and those that have not. Despite the fact that we know this can't define us, it just seems so simple for those who are financially comfortable. And it's becoming a death-defying tightrope act for those of us who are struggling. So, what are some great tips for all of us to consider? Well, I'm not a money expert, so I called Greg, a banker for 24 years, who I've called over the years for advice. Wow, his advice is always so clear, and today was no exception. Number one, he said, always balance your checking account every month. Now, he didn't just mention it once or twice, he mentioned it 4 different times during our conversation, so I know this has got to be his very best tip. His next tip is to set aside money for emergencies. He did kind of laugh when he said that, realizing that that's an awkward time to implement this, but he said it's still very good advice, and those who have been saving are probably reaping the benefits of that. So consider that. Especially now when finances are strained, know how many times you can use your debit card, use your credit card, and use your ATM card each month. I didn't even know that was an issue, so I'm going to check it out myself tomorrow. His next tip is to know your debt load, period. If we don't know what's coming in and we don't know what's going out, this is not the time to have surprises. He also strongly suggests that we don't apply for additional debt right now. He said this is not the time to be aggressive with our money. This is the time to be as cautious as possible. He said it is important to look for better deals on your existing debt. He said interest rates are changing dramatically now, so you may find a better deal on, say, a mortgage or refinancing a vehicle or something like that. He shared that he had just refinanced his own home, and he said he saved a lot of money. So this sounds like a great idea for all of us to consider. All of Greg's tips made perfect sense to me, so I hope you'll consider some of them. Lydia's healthy tip goes like this. Great news! We're all expecting bailout checks. It's so easy for our brains to spin in a million directions. It's easy for us to earmark that money for a few different things. However, this is your reminder that you need to be responsible with this extra money. Don't forget the uncertain times that we're in. Even though it may make us feel good momentarily to buy something for ourselves, have a little treat, because don't we deserve it because we've been isolating? Or maybe our partners in isolation are driving us crazy. Or perhaps because it fulfills some kind of empty feeling that we might have, and it might make it feel better for just a moment. Think about it, Lydia said. There are loan deferments. Some will receive help with rent. Some will receive help with interest. But take note, those giving us a break need to make money too. If you're putting off rent, you might end up owing double the next month. You'll owe more on interest if you take out a deferment on a loan. So be wise with your checks. See where it will help you the most. protect yourself as much as possible, even though it's not so glamorous or fun and certainly not a very spontaneous choice. You won't regret it in the long run, Lydia said. Now it's your turn. Let's think about what you're going to talk to your health buddy about. Think about this for a 28-day journey. What might you do differently? What have you done so far? How have you both considered the financial health you're demonstrating right this minute? Talk it over with your health buddy and see if there isn't something you want to change, something you want to do. This is a very, very important time for all of us, so think about this one very carefully. We're really grateful that you've been joining us, and we hope you'll join us tomorrow. Thanks.
You get through this. You'll break new